Okay, I'm back live. Love it. All right, so touch on what Larry was talking about. The problems with the exchange are basically computer glitches, and also don't click on the I don't know button. You have to sort of pick a more definitive answer when you're shopping for insurance. When you go on the exchange, it's www.accesshealthct. There is no difference in price whether you buy from a broker or you buy from the exchange. If you buy from a broker, you will have assistance with claims. The Ombudsman's office is always telling people they should buy when they call them through a broker. The reason you should do that is because we're licensed. We have errors and omissions insurance. So if someone says this is a better product and it necessarily isn't a better product, then you're on the hook. If you buy a silver and for $7 or $12 more a month, you could have gotten the gold, the CDDK. Anthem CDDK is the best plan you can buy. It's the only one I really recommend. I don't recommend at all. My buddy Dr. Z and I are trying to do a shop quote, and the premium just looks so attractive. Yeah, well, it's a bronze plan, and he's on the hook for 20% of every bill. So I'm tweaking it. I'll be an expert by mid-December, I promise, or I have to be. But right now, it's sort of better to purchase from an agent. The assisters are not insurance agents, and these health fairs, why would you go to an open forum and buy insurance? It just seems really weird how they're rolling this out. I am not a fan of it whatsoever. Insurance is important. When you get sick with cancer, you need to know what you have. I had a colonoscopy this year, and I wouldn't have had it if one of my best friends didn't demand that I get it. And my beautiful wife, of course, but Diana's got a million things going on. So sometimes a little extra oomph from a friend helps. And I went and had it. I got no cancer. But because of my stress level, I have insane amount of stress level, I had to have a colonoscopy. And if I had cut whatever that funny guy is, I love his commercial. He was always like smashing people's cars. Cut rate, or there's some word he uses on the radio, cutthroat, cut rate insurance. Don't buy a bronze and take on a $6,000 deductible. If you want to forego this year, fine, you're going to get fined $95. A lot of my younger friends, my buddy Larry, who's a bartender at my local Ojo's, just said, I'm taking the fine. I don't want insurance. I'm healthy. Is it a smart idea? No. But he doesn't want to spend $213. We quoted his premium, and it was $213 because of his age. He's a little older than 35. And they're not going to give the insurance away. They're only going to give it, which is a subsidy, a federal tax credit, if you are very low income. Well, you're supposed to get insurance if you have low income. It's called Charter Oak, Husky. Well, now it's just called Husky. They're not calling it Charter Oak any longer. So anyone whose income is under $15,896, the insurance is free. Caller on line 1. Take it to the audience.
Okay, Mike, when you mentioned that thing about the penalty, $95, that only applies to a person that has $9,500 in income, just gross income.
Under $15,876, but yeah, you're right.
Oh, okay, so if you're making, say, $50,000, don't expect to pay $95. You're paying a lot more than that. You'd be paying, you could calculate that out.
It's 1%.
Right.
Go ahead, you say it.
You say it's 1% of your adjusted gross?
Correct.
Okay, so figure 1% of, say, it was $50,000 or $40,000. It's not going to be $95. That's for sure.
That's $500, my friend.
Right. So.
And it's going to go up incrementally three times.
That's only the first year. It's going to take jumps like crazy.
Yes, it does.
You're going to be shocked. You think the prices of insurance are expensive, you know?
So most important, the gentleman is spot on. I use the scenario because I know for a fact that, unfortunately, bartenders get paid very well in cash, and they take the minimum wage, and they really don't report everything they should be reporting. So when I was trying to explain it to him, I'm a bit of a nerd, and I want people to understand that this is important. To qualify, individuals have to have a household income that is at least whatever. So your income, if you're lying, you will get caught because this is not going away. The IRS is going to be on you. So we've also been told, don't exercise the maximum credit. Take some of your tax credit, but don't exercise the maximum credit. Because if you do take the full credit, and your income changes, you will have to pay it back. So like the caller on line 1 is saying is, if the individual makes $40,000 or $50,000, that is equivalent to about $14 an hour. It's not that hard if you're working 40 hours a week to make $40,000 or $50,000. The one thing that doesn't get included, which us business owners have to, are benefits. So it's just pure out earned income. But your point is fantastic. It's not just $95. It's $95 or 1% of the adjusted gross income or greater.
I've heard somebody else say that, the only way that the IRS is going to be able to get the penalty out of you is if you have a refund coming to you, if you adjust your income or adjust your withholding so you're actually below that equal or below it, so you have to pay them some more. They won't have anything to take from, because you won't be getting a return.
Correct.
Any return. They'd have, and there's no method for them to come after you right now.
Correct.
To get it. So if you don't have any any return at the end of the year, a lot of people think, oh man, I'm getting such a sizable return. Just think of it. You're loaning the money to the government for free.
Tax free. They hold it too.
If you adjust your withholding so you come out just about right even, or just a little below, not too much, otherwise they could slap a penalty on that too. But
right.
If you get it adjusted right, that way it's better that way. Then you have the money in advance instead of giving it to the government.
Exactly.
Okay?
Beautifully said. Thank you so much for calling in.
Okay, thank you, Mike.
Appreciate it. All right.
Okay, bye-bye.
So the gentleman was spot on, and it's actually nice to hear from the public instead of just me. You really should pay attention, people. It's here to stay. For those of you who are on Medicare, either disabled or 65 or older, the exchange has nothing to do with you. It doesn't have anything to do with you. It will just give you a lot more wellness next year than you were used to. Supplements, they don't give you a great amount of wellness at all. They just give you a one-time welcome to Medicare visit. But an Advantage plan gives you quite a bit of wellness, which is good. It gives you glaucoma screening. It must be CPT coded for wellness, people. You've heard me say that, but let me say that again. CPT, current procedural. I think the woman from Prospect said terminology or technology. Current procedural terminology, CPT. It has to be CPT coded for wellness, but you are getting a lot more wellness in your Advantage plan next year. You get a screening at your doctor. For the women, you get a Pap and pelvic exam. You get a mammography. Pap and pelvic exam is now moved to every 2 years, not every year. That's new for next year. Okay, so you got a letter. My buddy Scott got a letter. He and his beautiful wife and 2 children are getting booted. They had a Blue Cross Blue Shield plan. His new rate is a particular plan. It's higher than he was paying. You can try to apply for an exchange plan, which is called exchange plan, and you can get a tax subsidy, or you can elect to take the MAPT plan. I don't really know what MAPT stands for, but they taught us this at all the broker conferences. MAPT, you're moving a person into a different plan, mapping them over. And the MAPT plan are a default plan that Blue Cross Blue Shield, Connecticut have deemed for them to be a qualified health plan. Qualified health plan under the Affordable Care Act means that it includes all of the proper terminology that the plan wanted it to have. Maternity, wellness, deductibles, co-payments. The Bronze doesn't have any co-payments, but the silver and the gold do. So a minimum standard plan is a $6,300 or $6,500 deductible for an individual, and a $12,700, $6,350, $12,007. I think that's off the top of my head, but don't quote me on that exact thing. But a minimum standard requirement plan, and I can check that for sure, means that the minimum standard that the exchange will offer is that bronze plan. So I've had to have exhausted that enough. It's nauseating. This is unbelievable. It's not really working. It will work. They will fix it. So get on board, because it's just not going to go away. The penalty has been waived through March 31st. Larry had me save that for my show. Instead of buying it by December 15th, you now are given till December 23rd, which really December 22nd at midnight. So that is an additive. And you are not penalized if you don't purchase it until March 31st. So some people who don't want the insurance, Kristen's always saying at the office, no, people, you got to get them in by December 15th because their start date will be the 1st. Yes, that's for people who want it. But if you blatantly don't want it and you're only going to buy it because that young man just called in and he definitely was intelligent, and you find that you're making 30 or 40 grand and you don't want to pay the fine, then you have to buy it no later than March 31st, which is good. Anthem did an excellent thing the other day. They've opened up their window of time till December 31st for underwriting. So if you're extremely healthy, you can get an underwritten quote, which you will probably pass if you're really healthy. One or two things is not a big deal. But if you're extremely unhealthy, go through the exchange because of the guaranteed issue capabilities of that. But if you are fairly healthy, you can call the office 757-6099. We can email you a quote. It's called the Anthem Premier, Anthem Smart Sense, or the Anthem Luminos HSA. You can take the highest deductible you want. I don't know. It's roughly based on age, but say $200-$300 premium for a high deductible. It still will give you Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, and it also could give you a PPO, a preferred provider option. The exchange are only offering HMOs, which is a health maintenance organization, and they are also offering nothing but the Pathway X, Pathway, P-A-T-H, Way, W-A-Y, X network, which is not the Anthem network everyone is expecting. It's a stripped-down network. So, anyway, please pay attention to this. This is important. And, again, the reason you buy from a broker is to explain everything, to go over what is necessary. I hate to say it, but my staff has now gotten smarter than I am on this darn exchange because they're good at that stuff. They're good at the computer. If you're good at it yourself and you don't want a broker, you can simply go on to accesshealthct.com. You can go to the Western Connecticut Agency on Aging. They're very good. They're our sisters. New opportunities up on North Elm Street, Dr. Gatling's place. They're our sisters and very polite. They were nice girls. We had a meeting over at the Agency on Aging a couple weeks back, and we were introduced to them. They are also assisters. You have an assister through the Office of the Healthcare Advocate, the OHA. Victoria Veltri and her team are incredible. If anyone needs a phone number, they can always call the agency, or you can just Google it. It's Office of the Healthcare Advocate or OHACT.gov, I believe the website is. Okay, so to wrap up, I know we have 4 minutes probably. Talked about the Mattatuck Minute. The flamenco show sounds like a lot of fun. I love Thanksgiving. It's going to be beautiful. I'm going to have some turkey, watch some football with my twins, laugh. I'm going to try to make an effort to help more than I have in the past. I'm not the best knuckle-dragging Neanderthal. I kind of drink beer and laugh and throw the football outside with my family and watch TV. But my wife and my sister, now that my mom's passed, my sister has taken over Thanksgiving. So I'm going to make an effort to try to help. My goody-goody brother Wayne always is peeling the potatoes. He gets on all the chick's good side. Kind of annoying. He's like, oh, Wayne. I will make an effort. I'll try to help out more than I have. It's just I'm tired. This is my really booming season, and we're going really hard. And to take a day off, it's nice. I just sort of like, oh, I know I can't work today. Also, another thing, let me stress, I do not like it. This has nothing to do with Medicare. I do not like it that the stores are open on Thanksgiving. It takes away from the family unit. Again, I am sorry, Andy, about that. I'll try to find a way to come give you a hug sooner or later. Don't call in and tell me where you live, but you and I will hook up. You're always good to my show, and you're a loyal listener, so I'll try to find a way to make that happen. For my buddy out there, Ray, that was such a good karma appointment. I'm still reeling from that, feeling good about helping an AIDS patient. No last names for HIPAA, of course, but that makes me feel good. And my girls, way to be hard asses on that. I really appreciate you keeping me focused. There is one slight dilemma. There is such a backlog at the Department of Social Services. So for those of you that are having parents or yourself, if you get a redetermination form from the Department of Social Services, really take this seriously. It's the QMB or the Silver Connect card. There is an unbelievable backlog. And I actually am getting frustrated, but my girls are staying on top of me saying, you just be quiet and go sell some insurance, and we know how to run this agency. And they do. It's the right thing to do. Even if you're paying somebody to sit on the phone for a full hour, it's the right thing to do, and I have to be sometimes reminded by the bosses over there, and they are reminding me on a regular basis. I had a little redemption yesterday. A client came in. I gave her a nice hug and a kiss and apologized. I am flat out. I'm only human. I bleed red when I get cut, so I do get a little cranky. I'm not immune to that. So there was a situation where a client is rightfully due their supplement. They give you the $104.90 back, which, by the way, remained the same. If you didn't know that, it remained the same for 2014, $104.90. So if you do not have the QMB card, Qualified Medicare Beneficiary, and you are not a client of ours, I will still honor my statement, and my employees keep me true to this. And honestly, from the bottom of my heart to my staff, happy Thanksgiving to you and your families. You are irreplaceable. Everyone over there is working tirelessly, and I can't thank them enough. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Have a safe and happy holiday, and we're going to ride out into the sunset in about 30 seconds, aren't we, Producer Tom? All right, so let me wrap up. Don't like that the stores are open on Thanksgiving. Get your Medicare choice made by December 7th. Get to the Flamenco Show on December 5th at 6 o'clock. I will be there with my wife. And happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Thank you very much for your business.